What does freedom mean to you?
I don't know exactly, but I like it. You know, I think at least for me, the more freedom I have to make my own choices, stuff like that, you know, makes me happier. I like it. I think that's probably some of why I'll push myself for a long poker session, or why I've studied hard in the past. I'm sure I will again, because I'm like, well, sacrifice some freedom for these days of play nonstop or whatever it may be, study a ton, and hopefully some things come of it that, you know, get more freedom in the future in this area, or more money that you can use in some way. I don't know, something like that. I don't know if I got it that clear in my head, so I can't explain it great probably, but.
There's a paradox in this somewhere, because has there ever been a time when you've been chained to the game and you've not liked it?
Yeah, I guess there were probably times where I felt like I really had to grind, not as much from my own choosing, and though, yeah, that's a little more upsetting. But if I'm choosing to, then yeah, I'm all right with it. You know?
Has there ever been a time where you thought your career would end, that you worried about poker not being there for you, or not being the right path for you at a particular time?
I think not too significantly, kind of thing. I mean, obviously there's times where I have some big losses or something, and in that moment you're not, you know, cranky about it or whatever, not happy about it. But I don't think really, yeah.
So we're saying, like, for most of the time in your career, things have been pretty okay.
Well, I don't think I've really questioned the choice of playing poker that much and stuff, you know. Sometimes I wished, like, oh man, I wish I had a smaller piece, or I wish I had risked a few less buy-ins there, or stuff like that. But
and you spend an inordinate amount of time playing poker. I mean, what does poker teach you about life?
Well, there's times I spend an inordinate amount of time playing poker, but there's also times I don't play any for a month. And so I think I like something about that. I like being able to, you know, choose when I'm working some amount, right? And so the freedom that comes with that and stuff, I think that's one of the reasons poker worked for me. What it taught me about life is, you know, I think I've learned some ways to assess information from poker. I think people could use a little more of that. Our society could use a little more of that. And it basically, one of the biggest, maybe the biggest lesson I've learned from poker is, like, you're not always going to be right, and anyone who thinks they're always going to be right is, you know, full of shit. They're not gonna. I want to bet against that guy at the poker table if they think they've figured it all out. And I think that's kind of a cool concept, because it's true in a lot of walks of life that a lot of times there's not. The best you can do is give it a good guess and, you know, try to hope it works out and accept if it doesn't. But yeah, I think a lot of people, when it comes to assessing information, oversimplify a little bit. And I think you can see that in, like, political things going on. You can see it in a lot of different, just a lot of people, you know, kind of don't sit back and say, oh, I'm not really sure of this one. That's confusing. You know, people don't like that. They try to get an answer.
Like black or white?
Yeah, I mean, it's, even if you talk about, for example, in the US, like the political polarization, you know, it's like people that are more conservative, right-leaning, watch more conservative, right-leaning TV. People that are more, you know, liberal, left-leaning, whatever you want to call it, watch more left-leaning TV. And it's, instead of saying, like, oh, I wonder what's wrong on this side, I wonder what's wrong on that side, more people are like, oh yeah, this is what's right, you know, and not kind of questioning or realizing the stuff they might be, maybe can't be sure of, or stuff like that. And that's something you learn in poker, is like, you, all the time, you can't be sure of something. When you think you have someone's strategy figured out, often they surprise you, you know.
It's like, it sounds like deep reflection added to that why again, and a little bit of like, you have an inquisitive mind, right?
Well, but I think I'm more saying it's just a concept or at least people learn if they're good poker players, is that you get a little better at assessing information, and one of the things you learn is that you don't know for sure. You know, like inevitably people win a few tournaments or have a few wins in cash games and they think they have it figured out, but usually that doesn't last unless they're sitting there saying, oh yeah, I'm not really sure, but here's what I think. You know, people that really think they got it all figured out often, you know, have a slide kind of thing.